Jonathan's letter first as a warm-up, and then we'll hear what
All right.
you want to say.
So my brother Jonathan Moreno wrote a letter to his mother, my stepmother, Zerka, for her birthday. And it was actually written for Mother's Day. I think he basically said happy birthday, but I think he said happy Mother's Day as well. So he says, I'm not sure how many 94-year-olds have published new books this year, but I know that Zerka Moreno has published one that is both inspirational and an important document in the history of psychology. It happens also to be a pleasure to read. My mother is among the last of a generation of deeply cultivated Jewish women who read widely, spoke several languages, and respected the power of the word. Even though she's my mother, as a history of science professor, I'm going to claim total objectivity. Her memoir, To Dream Again, recounts both her remarkable life and her work with her partner, my father, Zerka Moreno, a psychiatrist and pioneer of psychodrama, group psychotherapy, sociometry, social network theory, role-playing, encounter groups, and sensitivity training. JL died in 1974, just short of his 85th birthday, but as she was 27 years younger, Zerka was able to carry on for him. Though my father was a creative genius, in many ways it was my mother who matured and systematized the way that psychodrama therapy is conducted around the world. You can watch a little video of her working here, so if you go online, you can click on the here and you can get to see a little bit of the video. To Dream Again begins with the event that shaped most of her life and nearly all of mine, and mine as well. The amputation of her right arm and shoulder at the age of 39 due to chondrosarcoma. I was 5 years old, just old enough for the emotion and memories to be seared into my consciousness. Her side of the story can and should speak for itself. For my part, I remember best my apprehension at her return from the hospital. Would I see blood? I asked my father. I can still see her walking into the front door, a wan smile on her face. I stood as far away as I could, behind our dining room table, as though to protect myself and await reassurance. That reassurance came quickly, as my next vivid memory is leaning out of our car's driver's side window, shouting excitedly to the students and staff on the grounds of my father's sanitarium, "Hey, look, my mother's driving." She says she was so anxious she was trembling. I remember only the thrill of this, the first of her many self-rehabilitated accomplishments. So she actually learned to drive with, she used a knob on the wheel so that, well, it's her right arm, so it was her left hand that she was on, still, till she stopped driving she used that. The book is about much else, of course. Her family's origins and struggles to survive the catastrophes of 20th century Europe, her adventures as a 22-year-old immigrant in 1939, her complicated relationship with her bipolar elder sister that resulted in her meeting of my father, their lives together vaulting through the world of psychotherapy from the 1940s through the early 1970s, and her energetic and charismatic career since then. Along the way, there are nuggets of observation about the political and social upheavals of the era, including their sometimes harrowing Cold War travels to the Soviet Union and the Eastern Bloc countries, all in the name of advancing my father's passion for a form of psychotherapy that would truly embrace all of society. Practitioners and students will especially enjoy her accounts of encounters with the famous and near-famous in psychology and the theater. Psychodrama was at that time a unique venue that attracted both scientists and actors. Among the attendees of their nightly public psychodrama sessions in the Upper West Side of Manhattan, she remembers a young man who reminded her of a sardine, whom she later come to recognize as Woody Allen. I never saw him. I don't know how I missed that. As the 1960s encounter movement cannibalized my father's ideas, Abe Maslow wrote a letter of protest to Life magazine, which had covered Fritz Perls' Gestalt theory without mentioning J.L.'s lifetime work of prior work on group methods. And I might add, without the excesses of that time, that did much damage. Fritz Perls wasn't happy about it. Characters like Eric Bentley, Paul Tillich, Carl Rogers, Norman Mailer, Carl Menninger, Jacques Lacan, Virginia Satir, Margaret Mead, with whom I had a long dinner conversation at the age of 10. And even the Huxleys pepper these pages, among many others. But enough for me. To dream again is not only a present to the world, and a beautiful work of literature, it is also a Mother's Day gift to a grateful son. Happy Mother's Day, Mom.
Someone will maybe share a feeling that you have about Zerka or about being here today, and as a group we are all going to respond to it together at the same time, using the sound of movement or mirroring it back to the teller. So someone will say something and I will say 1, 2, 3, and then we'll somehow respond to the story with a feeling that we captured, or a phrase that the person shared. Mario.
And I'd like to preface it by saying one of the reasons I really wanted playback to be part of this is because, for those people who might not know, playback was created by Jonathan Fox, who is the stepson of Merlin Pitzley, who was Zerka's partner after J.L. passed away. So she's, Jonathan sometimes referred to himself as Zerka's other Jonathan.
Yes, that's right.
So that there's that connection to Zerka as well.
So these two strong ladies came in, and in Germany, psychodrama is a very smooth, long process. It's different than here. A little different than here. So we all were curious about what she would bring now. And she took over. It was the whole group, I would say 400 people maybe, and she said, okay, we are here doing psychodrama. Please find groups, 5 people, and think about what your most important point of this day was, and what this will mean for your future, or something like that. I can't recall the exact thing. So we were like, oops, where is the warm-up? Where is this? Where is that? We are not used to it. So we went into the groups and we did some talking and thinking and playing. And then she said, okay, now I want one of each group to pair up with others, so that you are new groups of 5 people, and you talk about what you experience in your group, and you make a movement or something you can show the others, and so on. And finally, there was this presentation from so many people. It was only little pieces, and it was astonishing how that came through. I thought, this is so different. It is like we were set to do everything, but finally it turned out to be good too. So no long thinking process, no long warm up and whatever, straightforward, and it worked. Maybe it's the American way. So that's nice. The American experience, no. That's
The American way, you said before?
Yeah, yes, the American way of psychodrama. My first contact with the American, my first contact with the American way of psychodrama.
My first contact with the American way of psychodrama. Let's watch.
Oh, that guy's funny. I wonder what she's going to teach us. Oh, I'm excited. Ready to hear.
Forget everything you know and watch. 400 people, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, and there we are.
This is not going to work. This is just not going to work. I mean, how can this happen? This has to be slow and easy. How can she do this? All these people? I don't know. Is it possible? Wow. Not sure.
Like popcorn. They're gonna be working like popcorn. I mean, just all these groups, 400 people. Easy, like popcorn.
Okay, thank you.
Bravo.
So, Victor, did this capture the essence of your story?
Yes, I would say so.
Okay.
The popcorn.
Yeah, the popcorn, yeah.
Sorry.
One of the things that I'm still so just amazed by when I think about the fact that 3 of us are from New York. New York City, Newburgh, and the Bronx. And then we've got the rest of the world represented here. And how, you know, the psychodrama, both JL and Zerka's influence came from Europe, but then focused in New York, and then spread out to the rest of the world. And how we've got old-timers and newcomers in the room all at the same time, how this is such a perfect microcosm of all that psychodrama has been for me, and expanded my view of myself in the world, and how so much of that is through Zerka, because I didn't have the opportunity to know your father.